Hello, and welcome back to Industry Insider. I'm your host, Allison Rogers. Earlier this week, Collision Repair sat down with John Marlowe and Giuliano Bernabe, the co-founders of Level 5 Drive. These ADAS experts treated our audience to a webinar full of ADAS information, including helpful tips on when calibrations need to be completed, what facilities need to offer calibrations in-house, how to get paid by insurers, and so much more. Level 5 Drive, which officially launched in July of this year, is a facility strictly dedicated to providing advanced driver assistance systems, or ADAS, calibrations. The Burlington, Ontario-based company operates strictly business-to-business, working directly with insurers and collision repair facilities to perform calibrations. Armed with ADAS expertise and rich histories in the sector, both Marlowe and Bernabe are ready to take on the calibration confusion in the collision repair sector. To start the webinar, John gave a little bit of background on how the idea for Level 5 Drive was born.
Basically, it multiple levels of frustration in the industry. So both of us at the time were acting as managers in shops, and discovering the frustration of trying to schedule ADAS calibrations with a dealer. Even the frustration of trying to identify when we need to do them. It's a difficult road to navigate when there's not a lot of information available, not a lot of education readily available regarding it. For us, it was pretty evident that trying to send cars to a dealer that sometimes you kind of get the impression maybe they don't really want to do these, and even if they do, you have to work around their schedule. We're working with insurance companies where we're on we're trying to work on we're working on time. We're on the 0.3 formula, and we need to get that cycle time where it should be. If we have to wait to 3 days or 2 weeks for a dealer to calibrate a front radar for us, it's a real problem. And you're in a situation then where you can't really put the car back on the road because we know it's not functioning or may not be functioning. So we're kind of stuck with it until the dealer can take care of it. So this, for us, having a series of laboratories like these across the country is a solution to that problem. It's dedicated. This is all we do. We do nothing but ADAS calibrations. So we can do them a lot quicker than a dealership can. And
offering calibrations in-house does not come easily. Collision repair facilities and dealerships need ample space, the right tools, and so much more to offer the service, says John.
For facilities that have considered bringing calibration into their shops, you guys have mentioned that you're always willing to work with shops to help them offer calibration, whether it be through you guys or help them sort of realize a strategy to bring it into their own facility. If someone came to you and said, I want to bring calibration into my shop, what are some ground basics that you would kind of tell them they need just before they dive headfirst into the whole endeavor?
The very first thing they need to look at is their physical premises. Do they actually have an area where these calibrations can be performed? So it has to be an area where other repairs are not happening. It needs to be an area where there isn't collision repair apparatus like benches and lifts. Needs to be an area where you're able to control the lighting. There can't be dust in the air. It needs to be pretty removed from the remainder of the collision repair operations. If in fact your facility is conducive to that, you have what you need. Now you need to look at your technician. Who's going to do it? Are you going to take a collision repair tech away from collision repair to do these calibrations? Are you going to, we've already kind of fallen into the trap of wash bay diagnostics, and we see where that's gotten us. So that may not be a viable solution to have somebody like a detailer or a junior apprentice, try and do these operations. There's a lot of precision involved. There's a lot of detail involved. A lot of steps and instructions that need to be followed very, very faithfully
a lot
in
of
order to ensure that you're doing
well.
a lot of training. Absolutely, yeah. And then once you've done that, then you look at what are you going to invest in? What kind of equipment are you going to, are you single brand specific and you're going to buy OEM equipment from, Honda or from Toyota or whoever your single brand is? Are you going to try and please everyone and try and find a system that does everything? And it's a major investment in equipment, after you've already solved the other problems, and ongoing, by the way.
Yeah, and taking time away. How long would you say it takes your team to do a standard calibration?
It really depends, what we're doing, but in general terms, I would say by the time we get the vehicle into correct state, perform the calibration, perform the road test to confirm that everything is working correctly, and get the documentation together, it's I'd say generally about 90 minutes. if everything goes the way it should.
Now that's both of us not stepping on each other.
Yeah.
So we have a system that we follow when we get the car in. So, one person's doing one thing while the other is doing another, and then we just kind of meet up at the end.
So in the case of a static calibration, like the actual calibration, it's almost instant in most cases. Like it's just push the button and it calibrates and you're good to go. But getting to the point where you're ready for that, and then getting to the point where you've proven that this worked and the vehicle is now in a known state and can go back on the road. It's a lot of work, a lot of effort.
And for the other, and that's for you guys. I mean, your slogan that I've seen on your website is "We do ADAS." That's all. ADAS. That's all we do. So for a collision center that has on top of that, they got to repair some dents that day. They got to repair a complete front bumper, like things like that. It could easily get out of hand very fast.
It could, and I mean, sort of to that point, a couple of our biggest supporters are facilities that actually own their own calibration equipment.
Interesting.
They haven't. Yeah, but they've recognized that, for them, it doesn't make sense as an add-on to their existing business. It's not working the way they expected it would. Doesn't mean it wouldn't for everybody, but there are a lot of facilities out there where it could work very well.
And documentation is an absolutely crucial part of the process.
So something else that's really important is proving your case to the customer. I mean, we've seen recently that customers rely very heavily on ADAS systems. I mean, if you check your blind spot once, you first get an ADAS system, and then you check it the 40th time, there's still no cars there. That's your reference you gave me, John. Sorry to steal it from you. But if you check there a million times, and eventually you're just going to start relying on the system to do the right thing. So how do you think customers do they understand how often their vehicles need to be calibrated, or the situation that comes with owning an ADAS-enabled vehicle?
Nope, they don't. And it's not their job to understand it. It's our job to make sure we've done the right thing. And this is something we didn't really talk about before during any of our discussions, but I'm glad that we hit on this right now. We are in the same boat as the OEMs in this regard, in that it's critical for us that customers are able to have trust in these ADAS systems. Mm-hmm. When people aren't able to trust their systems, then their satisfaction with the collision repair they've had, their satisfaction with the vehicle they own, all these things fall. And you end up with a customer maybe switching brands, maybe with a customer sending negative reports back to an insurer regarding a repair that was done. This is absolutely crucial stuff that we get right 100% of the time. When a customer gets in a car and turns on their lane keep assist system, it needs to accurately detect everything it's supposed to, when it's supposed to, every time. We document our processes as well, which was another part of the puzzle that was missing. Send a car to a dealer, and Julianne and I both spent a lot of time in dealerships, and there are some questions about what was the process that was actually followed. So we've taken the questions away and replaced it with transparency.
Be sure to check out collisionrepairmag.com or click the link in this description for the full Aid with ADAS webinar with John and Giuliano. You won't want to miss this ADAS content. And stay tuned to Industry Insider by subscribing to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, and YouTube for more episodes.